I said I would do it, so I'm doing it. It's Monday night, and I skipped the weekend, although I put out a couple of new things. But here I am, ready to go at it a little bit here on the channel. I've got notes. I've got some stuff to chat about. This one's going to be I'm going with Lana, Lorde, or Girl in Red as my featured artist that I'm going to talk about at some point. I would first like to say thanks for everyone that's been tuning into the Slow Down the Quick videos. They're turning out to be my most popular videos right now. The Slow Down the Quick, which one? The Frozen Astoria mix is doing well. The Panama Beach one is doing well. And the one that's doing the best is Avocado Green. So if you get a chance, they're on my regular channel here. There's not a Slow Down the Quick channel. There is a Slow Down the Quick playlist, but these are on the regular Tony Black NYC channel, which you know what I mean? I guess I should know exactly what the URL for that is, but I think it's just Tony Black NYC. Anyway, had a recording session today, went well. Unbelievably, for the 2 hours leading up to the session, which was going to be a vocal session, someone decided that today, Martin Luther King Day, a holiday, was the day that they were going to chainsaw trees right outside my window. Luckily, they finished up. We got our vocals done. We got our vocal sketches done. And the session itself today went well, and I was thinking about talking at some point soon, not in this episode, but soon, about the tally is somewhere coming up in 2024, 30 years of sessions in New York City, pushing a little bit into 1993, maybe some in like 91. But anyway, I think I'm somewhere around 7,500 sessions, and a lot to talk about still. So I'll have plenty to dig into and ramble about, as I'm doing right now. But there's a couple of things I want to get out of the way besides thanking you guys and girls, like I said, for the views and the subscriptions and the likes and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to be talking about Lana Del Rey, Lorde, and Girl in Red as my three artists that I've been sort of hovering around the past couple of weeks, and just some thoughts on that as we're leading up to the Grammys, I guess in probably about a month. And I will not go into the Grammys too in depth today, but definitely have some thoughts on that you may or may not find interesting. What do they call it? Spoiler alert, the Grammys are shit. They are no longer what they once were. I guess, what would you say, the qualifications for getting into the Grammy org and becoming a voter those qualifications are not what they used to be. They are based on, almost entirely on politics, and not on your contributions or your involvement in the actual industry. It used to be NARIS, it wasn't the Grammys Foundation or whatever it's called now. It used to be called NARIS. It was National Association of Recording Arts and Sciences. It was a little more just not a celebrity event. It was an industry thing. And, somewhere along the lines, as TV became more important than the actual foundation itself, I mean, they make a ton of money on the broadcast. So you kind of know where that's going. And in today's politicized world, even that has become politicized. And it's not a meritocracy. It's literally a numbers game. I guess like a lot of things are heading that way, whether you like it or not. It's not going to change. That's the way it is. But I'll get into that more later. On that tip, I have in my notes, I could connect that to an interesting Rick Beato episode, I guess, on his channel. I don't know exactly what the guy's name was or whatever, but if you go to his channel, and there's 4 million of you that are subscribed to him, so I guess I'm not telling you anything new. But he did a good interview with a guy who was formerly a radio promoter, and this guy breaks down exactly how the music industry basically imploded it really started happening in 1996 because of the deregulation of the radio stations, and who could own them. It goes in depth. Maybe I'll talk about it myself at some point. I think you'll find it interesting if you're into that kind of thing as to like the why. I mean, I get constantly asked by people, what happened to the, people don't buy records, and, how does this get popular and how does that get popular, and what happened, constantly. And that's one of the things that happened. And honestly, I didn't really know how the technicalities of it and how important that particular deregulation was by one Bill Clinton. So anyway, when he was president, the Grammys, and then Beato, and then he does another interview with a prominent music producer particularly from the 90s into the aughts, named Michael Beinhorn. Interesting character. He's done a lot of great records, done some tanks, as we all have. I do know one funny Michael Beinhorn story. I was, and if you dig into it and then you watch him and listen to him, there's a lot of interesting things that he talks about as far as art and where things have gone with regards to artists really. Why are they making records? Why are they doing, a lot of those kind of things that I like to talk about with friends and with other artists and discuss, why are you doing this? Why are you putting out a record? Why are you recording a record? What is the why? He's into that. A funny Michael Beinhorn story is I was doing a session at the Hit Factory. I think I might have been working on, my first guess is that it was Lil' Kim. And the way things worked back then was there were 5 recording studios in one building on 54th Street, the Hit Factory. That was the 421 location. That was for the address of the building. The other one was 237, and that one had another 5. So there was 10, and at one point I think there was 11 studios. And those things were going, I will say, without question, almost going around the clock. So there would be sessions from 10 in the morning to 7 p.m. There'd be some sort of like 1 hour changeover, and then another act would come in at 8 p.m. and go till 7 in the morning, sometimes 8 in the morning. Now, sometimes the studios would be booked 24/7 by just one artist. And a lot of the things that I worked on was that kind of case where you didn't have to like end that night at any particular time or in that morning. You could just literally go from 10 or 11 in the morning to 5 in the morning and then come back the next day at noon and then come back the next day, go 16, 17, 18 hours, leave for a few, come back, or sometimes you just stay and, wear the same socks for 3 days. But Beinhorn was in what was then known as, it was Studio One, which is like the famous, gigantic orchestra room that was on the top floor of the Hit Factory. And it cost somewhere in the ballpark of $3,500 a day for just the studio. Then there was rentals. Those could be $500 a day, let's just say, renting different pieces of equipment. And then you'd have to pay your engineer. Let's just say, I don't know, $1,200 a day. The producer's fee would be something that was like paid in advance from the record company. I'm just talking about the daily fee for the studio and what it was costing the artist. And so Beinhorn was up in Studio 1 at the Hit and 6th floor, 54th Street. And the word I got from one of the assistant engineers, who it was kind of common to like bump into people in the hallways, or, you know, you're just going outside to get some air. You'd see somebody who was also getting some air and be like, hey, you know, what are you working on? Oh, I'm upstairs with Beinhorn doing the Verve pipe. And we're going on fucking, I believe he was like, we're going on 9 days trying to get a bass sound. And this is, you know, something that's costing probably somewhere in the ballpark of $4,000 to $5,000 a day. The Verve pipe, who I don't remember the name of their hit. It's not The Verve that had the Bittersweet Symphony song. This is the Verve pipe. And I guess they were having trouble with some tones and different sort of like esoteric kind of concepts that they wanted for the bass. But one of the main things that I believe they were having a problem with is that there was some sort of RF noise, which is like a radio frequency interference that was coming up through on the top floor, and it had something to do with a radio station. I think it was actually Hot 97 was extremely close by, and they would get some like little noisy interference that was popping through every once in a while through whatever amplifiers were being used that were picking up these frequencies. But it's just a crazy bind. I'd love for someone, whoever, I mean, it seems as though Beinhorn's doing like 1 million interviews right now. I would love for someone to actually jog his memory on that one. And I from what I was told, like that particular record kind of made a dent in the band. Let's put it that way. So I've gone on through that. I would like to bring some attention to a friend of mine. Sent me a link, maybe Saturday. Corey B. Clay, a guy that I met in St. Louis back in the day. He is a really great video producer, video director, photographer. He did he was director of photography and did co-directing, I believe, on this new track by Pete Yorn. I don't remember the name of the song, but it's his latest one. It's black and white. It's really shot really cool. So maybe you want to check that out if you're bored. Corey B. Clay was the guy. And another character that I check out on YouTube, who I think deserves attention, is this guy Cam Mackey. He's a photographer, videographer. He's currently really going strong on his YouTube channel, and he's working on some independent films of his own, I believe. Cam Mackey, and it's CAMMACKEY. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to talk about Lana and Lorde and Girl in Red. It's just opinion. I mean, that's generally what this entire channel is about, right? For me, is that my opinion. I'm kind of up in the air right now on who I think is more important: Lana Del Rey, Lorde, or Girl in Red. I'm gonna throw. I think all three are fantastic, and I want to try and do some things just to show you that I'm not all doom and gloom and negative, because I've heard that from some people, like, oh, all you do is, you know, trash different things or whatever. But I think all three are phenomenal artists, and I don't think that they actually probably get as much credit as they should. I think that you know, granted, Lana Del Rey now is pushing 40 and is doing a family thing and stuff like that. So I think that, you know, her heyday is somewhat waning, or, you know, just sort of like slowing down. But I don't think that anyone's been more prolific, had more of a vision for really what they wanted to do and what they wanted to say, and seemed to really have like a passion for doing what they were doing. I don't think there was any, you know, imposter syndrome on Lana Del Rey's part. I think she's believes in her thing, particularly, you know, let's just say from video games all the way up to Summertime Sadness and all this. I mean, she has a lot of really big records, and if you check out her concert footage, I mean, it is like she barely needs to sing. The crowd is that loud and knows every word. Made some great records. I think video games and West Coast and Summertime Sadness, you know, Ride, a lot of great tracks. I'm even forgetting one really good one on the same record as video games. It'll come. Oh, Blue Jeans. Awesome. Her ideas for the visual, for the videos that she created, and I did notice that her live performances got exponentially better as the years went along. She actually improved, really honed her craft, sang well live. As far as I can tell, most of it or all of it was actually sung. I don't think she was lip syncing. I mean, there's a lot of that out there. And I'll go into Lorde. I think Lorde is someone that was just so freaky and so different. Not freaky in a bad way, like freaky, like, you know, unique. She was so unique that I don't think she gets enough credit for how great some of her tracks are and how great some of her records are. You know, obviously the Royals track, and that is one of those transcendent tracks that I talked about in a previous video, that there's like these transcendent moments. Lana has video games and Blue Jeans, transcendent tunes. Lorde, Royals is just, you know, one of those tunes that, like, you kind of, if you're into music or you're into pop music, and you know when you heard that for the first time that it was something that kind of took you like by surprise. Just like, you know, what's this? Who is this? Where did someone come up with this idea with this kind of sparse arrangement thing? And I don't even remember the video, to be honest with you. Like, that's not one of those that was like a video track, even though I think the video was popular from what I heard. Lorde. So then there's a Girl in Red on my little, you know, Lana meets Lorde meets Girl in Red. And Girl in Red is one girl, and her stuff, if you're not totally familiar with it, could be classified as bedroom pop, which, you know, is a genre that, like, people have coined as being music that was like made in someone's bedroom, you know, and like released on SoundCloud, and then maybe released on YouTube, and then got bumped up to Spotify and all these other kinds of things. So Girl in Red to me is fantastic. She's another one that just has a sound. There's like a thing it doesn't sound like they're coming from a specific direction of copying someone else. I don't really see like Girl in Red copying Lorde, or I don't know if there would be I think that Lorde could and Lana are definitely influential to someone like Girl in Red, but I do think that like Girl in Red has like a unique thing to say. If I was gonna If I was gonna rank them, obviously, as far as who I think is special, I think it's like 1A and 1B with Lana and Lorde, and Lana is probably 1A for me. And it's gonna sound politically correct or like me being, nice Tony. I think that Girl in Red is 1C, and there's a few others out there that are valid and newer. I think that Phoebe Bridgers is a really good talent and could creep her way into that threesome territory. I don't think someone like Claro is strong enough. I don't think the Boy Genius thing is strong enough, and I kind of, somewhat ripped them apart on the previous video, but that was more about the concept that I think they're a bit of a construct, like the Grammys, and like their Grammy nomination. So I think I've covered Lana, Lorde, Girl in Red, 9 Gazillion Sessions, the Grammys, Beinhorn, Beato, all those things. And I wanted to make sure that I came with a video for the week, because I said late last year that I was going to bring back the channel and be consistent with it. And to that end, I mean, it's winter. We're getting snow and some shit tonight. It's winter. It's quiet. My football team, my former favorite football team, lost yesterday. So I'm out as far as that goes. I could care less about football. And I'm no longer a fan of my team. Is that the way to put it? I don't know. I'm done with them until they get rid of a few of the elements and the players and the coaches and like, it has to be something entirely new. I'm kind of sick of, I think there's a lot of BS that's involved now with sports, and it takes up a lot of time. I would much rather pick up a guitar and make some new music like we did today with this young artist that I was working with today. It was interesting to talk to this artist today. I asked her, I said, why are you, she doesn't have a record deal, so to speak, right now. And I was like, so you got a couple of new tunes and you want me to produce them and help you put them together. I'm like, why are you doing this? And her initial reaction was like, and to some degree, she was kind of like, why the hell is this guy asking me why I'm doing these songs? But I think it gave her a moment to think about it. And I kind of put it out there too. I was like, you're doing it because, like, as an artist, you need to. There's like a gnawing, a thing that would be gnawing at you, that if you weren't making art and if you weren't at least pursuing it. I mean, as artists, people that are involved in this type of thing, I know myself, like, I could take a guitar and plug it into an effect pedal, like a guitar pedal, like, I always have them in arm's reach. Like, I could plug into this thing, and in 30 seconds, like, be transported to some other life that, like, doesn't have stress. It's a dopamine hit. It's like, I guess it's like what some people would get from turning on their PlayStation and playing a little video. But it's something that I talked about with the artist today. I was like, why are you doing this? And then I think when she really thought about it, like, oh yeah, I'm doing this because, like, it feels good. And it's like, it's a reason for me to, like, get up in the morning or, like, go to work and not feel like all I'm doing is going to work. Somewhere during the week, I wrote a song or I strummed a guitar for 15 to 20 minutes and got those endorphins going and that dopamine hit going. And that's why we do this.